Hey everyone, it's Elsie here. Hope you're all well. So my new video today is, as a bit of a warning, quite quintessentially British. There are many reasons for that, but the main one is that I'm using my newest Felicity Jane kit, which is called Happy Day, and it's designed by the lovely Suze Fish, and it is. It's quite it's quite British, you know. There's like cups of tea and like little pieces of cake and things like that, and like uh, so I'm making a layout about tea and cake, um, because why not? And yeah, I mean there aren't really many good things about Britain at the moment, like in terms of politics, but tea and cake is something that we will always have. Um, so I thought I'd make a layout about that. So as you can see here, well I did draw a cake, but now I'm drawing a teacup and saucer very badly, and it got to the stage where I was just like, nope, I've forgotten how to draw today, so we're just gonna cheat and get an image off Google. So yeah, so I drew my cake and teacups on some tracing paper as usual, and then I'm just going through the papers and deciding what I want to use and where. So the cake I think is about 3 by 4. Yeah, it's about 3 by 4 inches, just to give you like a scale idea of the scale of it. So I just use the back of one of the cut-apart sheets, because the back of that, the cut-apart sheet paper, is the sprinkles paper, which I love. I love anything that's kind of like a dashy print like that, and one that looks like sprinkles is even better. So yay! And I thought that worked quite well as for a cake. And then I'm absolutely loving the cardstocks we're getting in the kits recently. The double-sided, like two-toned, yeah, you know what I mean. The different colours on both sides, but they're really useful, and because they're like exact colour matches to the colours in the kit, it works really well for something like this. So as you can see, like the scalloped edge of the cake stand, I used just like the plain yellow cardstock, and then for the stand bit I used the stripy pattern, and then for this icing I'm just using the pink, and it all matches, so you don't have to worry about finding something that's like the perfect, it's not going to clash or anything like that, because for things like that, I think to balance everything out you kind of need plain card. You need just a solid colour basically, so it doesn't become too busy and too much, because as you'll see from like the end of the layout, it's not, I don't know, it kind of goes against all my rules about sort of design and scrapbooking layouts, but it works. It's kind of more like a scene, this one, I guess. And then I stuck, I think it was about a 2-inch strip of that gingham paper, and that kind of looks a bit like a tablecloth, I thought, so I went with that. And then, yeah, I love that gingham paper, because I do like ginghams, but I don't really like bold ginghams, if that makes sense. Because it just reminds me of my old school uniform, and my old school uniform was like a really dark, ugly forest green, so like it just wasn't nice. So I think it just kind of like gingham always reminds me of that, but this gingham I'm all about. It's beautiful, it's so lovely, and it's on the back of that doodly paper, which I also love. So yeah, my advice to you, if you're thinking about getting a Felicity Jane kit or you're already getting one, is always get the paper add-on. Like, seriously, don't think you don't need it, because you do. You will always need the paper add-on, and that means you get 2 cut-apart sheets as well, so yay. More things to play with. So yeah, I also love this cornflower blue paper. It's just adorable. It's lovely. It's kind of sort of more purpley bluey. I guess that's what's mean, blah, blah, blah. That's what a cornflower blue paper is, but you know, just go with it. Also love that patchwork paper, and it's really good if you want to incorporate lots of different patterns, and especially for something like that little bit of teacup. Little bit of tea sounds weird. You know, I just needed like a little bit of paper, but the bigger patterns kind of didn't really have a lot of the pattern on it. You know what I mean? It didn't really have as many black spots on it, so the little thing worked well, and I love that paper. I just, it's so Cath Kidston. Do people know what Cath Kidston is, like, outside of Britain? Because it's a very British brand, but I don't know whether they sell it anywhere else. Let me know if you're not from England and you know what Cath Kidston is. If you don't, Google Cath Kidston right now. You're welcome. So, yeah, I absolutely love that paper. I love the colour, I love dots. Oh, it's just yummy. So, yeah, just piecing all the little teacups together, and what I'm doing is that I also just like use my craft knife to cut some like little like slits, I guess. I hate that word. And so I can like nestle the teacups together, and that's what, like, I'm gluing them together anyway on the paper. What am I doing there with all my threads? I don't know. Oh, I was looking for like a colour match to the cornflower blue, but couldn't find one. And then that idea went out the window, so it's okay. Just ignore that bit. So, what was I saying? I can't remember, honestly. So, I spent ages debating what paper to use for the saucer, because I wanted it to match the bottom teacup, but then I was like worried about, you know, the colour being too dark or something, and I'm just being a bit silly really, because it's a pastel shade, so it's not really going to interfere with anything. I love that little bag of labels we got in the kit. It was a really cute idea, and we got these little tiny little ones, and I thought I pulled one out because I was like, oh, that'd be quite good to use as like a end of a tea bag string. What the hell is that called? You know what I mean. And yeah, I'm just piecing all the paper together. It's quite, I don't know. I hope you're not finding this too boring. For me, it's I don't know. I really like doing this, like all the fiddly bits. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. If I like make a layout and it sort of takes me 20 minutes, I'm a bit like, am I done? Really? Oh, okay. I'm a bit like really confused by it. But then when I spend kind of days or, you know, longer periods of time, not solid days, like, come on, but, you know, just like longer periods of time doing layouts, I really like that. I enjoy that process much more, like sort of having thought behind it and just fussing, basically. Which is what I'm doing here, just making sure everything's placed right and gluing it all together. So that was a bit enthusiastical. So yeah. Oh, what have I done now? This bit's well out of focus. I'm sorry about that. I should have checked. So I've got one of the pieces from the doodle sheet that Suze drew, and it was kind of like a menu of like different cakes, and I thought, oh, that will work quite well because I'm going for that tea room vibe. As you can see, I've got a few pictures at the top there that I'm just sort of playing around with the position of. And I changed where I wanted the teacups to go, and so I just put them like right next to the cake, basically, because I didn't want it to be too like spread out, if that makes sense. So just by having them all together, it works much better, I think. So yeah, I'm sorry about this shot as well. I don't know what happened with it. I tried to colour correct it because it kind of went green. the craft mat doesn't help, but yeah, I don't know what happened. The thingy went green, and the light rather, and I'm using some of my StazOn ink, and I stamped more tea, which was one of the phrases on the stamp set, on that little tea label, so I can attach that to the teacups. And then I'm just playing around here with, you know, sort of, I was thinking of like making my own like little strawberries to scatter around, but I don't know, I just couldn't get it to like work, and I don't know, I didn't have the right kind of ink, I don't think. Tried using the white ink and I really hate that white ink I have. It's like chalky ink and I just don't like it. Anyway, so I'm just sewing the little tea label through, and yeah, I also stitched around all of the edges on the teacup. I don't know, they kind of look alright without the stitching, but they kind of like piecing, is that a word? Yeah, piecing paper, yeah, paper piecing. Oh god, it sounds weird in my head. Like doing that's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it always looks weird without sort of an outline of some sort of like stitching, and stitching just kind of softens everything and defines it, gives it that cutesy vibe, I guess. So now I'm sorting out my photos, and I've got, I think I ended up using 4 different photos of an afternoon tea one of my best friends and I once had. I used to live in Nottingham, and if we were ever stressed or just needed like a break from anything, we'd just go into town and go get afternoon tea basically, because we're 95 years old apparently, but it was great. Seriously, some of my favourite times at uni is just like wandering around, sort of going to different shops and, I don't know, just having a blast really in tea rooms. So this kind of, those photos kind of, I've been meaning to scrap them for ages and they just went perfectly with this kit. And you can't really see the stamping that I did here because it's really light, but it looks so cute in real life. I got this really light pink ink that I have. I think it's Angel Pink, and by Memento. And the little flowers on the stamp set, I just like kind of dotted around so it looked like sort of the back of the paper, if you get me. Like it looked like the paper was printed kind of thing. And I really like that. It just softened up that black and whiteness. And then, oh, I'm getting the wood grain paper from the Next Stop kit. Because I had the idea, I didn't really know where to put the photos, and I had that sort of blank space at the top, and again, singing Taylor Swift in my head. Oh gosh, I swear every video I just say something and then I'm like, oh, Taylor Swift. Anyway, yeah, I had that blank space, so I thought of the idea of like basically making it look like a wall, and then just making these look like little photo frames, and I really like the look of it. I ended up, my camera cuts out a bit at the end, so you didn't see like the stitching, basically like that's all you kind of missed, but I kind of made it look like some of the photos had like string, they were hung up by string, and I just used some thread to do that. I also really wanted to use that strawberry that was on the cut apart sheet, because it's adorable, but it just, I think it was just too big. I just couldn't make it work. I couldn't find a space where it worked for me, you know. So I, yeah, end up ditching that, and you'll see at the end what I do instead. And where am I? Where have I gone? Oh, oh my gosh! One of the perks of living at home. Your mum just randomly brings you a glass of Pimm's. So, oh, that's more funny. Yeah, this video is very British, I did warn you. I totally forgot about that. It's very nice. Pimm's on a hot day is seriously the best thing ever. Do you have PIMS in other countries? You must have PIMS. If you don't know what you're missing. Seriously, great. And yeah, I also cut those little cherries out from the cut sheet, and there's my head. Sorry about that. Oh, I drew the lines. You can see where I drew the lines. And yeah, I'm just playing around really, deciding the little embellishy things that I want to add once I've done the stitching. And then, see, I really want to use that strawberry, it's just not working. Yeah. Oh god, my workspace looks like a right tip as well. I'm really bad, like whenever I peel the backs of paper off, I just forget to not put them in the bin. I just put them on my desk and then they just kind of stay there, and it's something that I need to remind myself to do, but I just always forget. Oops. So I added the puffy sticker that says sweet, which is adorable on top of the cake. And the reason why I think I'm going to call this video Scrumdiddlyumptious, I'm going to call it that because Scrumdiddlyumptious is a really fun word to say, and I was going to call this layout Scrumdiddlyumptious. I'm just going to keep saying it, but I couldn't fit it in anywhere because it's quite a long word, so I'm just going to call this video Scrumdiddlyumptious because it's about cake and tea, and that is very scrummy. So this is what this layout is about. My camera cuts off here, so I fussy cut all the flowers out, and as you can see, just added them around the little menu thing, and yeah, called that done. So thank you so much for watching, especially if you stuck around to the end. I shall see you in my next video. Hopefully I might have one before Monday. If not, it will be Monday. So I'll see you then, guys. Bye!